Now at 8 o'clock, we're continuing to follow breaking news out of Clark County, downtown Vancouver, after a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a man accused of threatening to kill one of his parents.
Plus, a man has been arrested again for allegedly setting multiple fires around Portland just hours after he was released from jail. And later,
a swastika is cruel, and it embeds hate in our community.
Yeah, police are still looking for the man you see on this security video. He was caught on camera drawing a swastika on a wellness center in Northeast Portland. We'll have more on that coming up here as the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carnier. Lots of headlines to get to, including that breaking news situation in downtown Vancouver. But before we go back there, Rod, we do want to check on the forecast.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to you at home watching us. We have a nice day coming up. We had been including a chance of rain showers in our forecast for today for the Willamette Valley. While the rain chance is not zero, all of the model data now shows that the rain stays in the Cascades and off to the east and leaves us alone. So that's the update on the rain chances. There's our state capital, kind of partly sunny, 65 degrees is the number. More of a sunny blue sky at this moment over downtown Portland. We're at 63. Temperatures should stay fairly comfortable considering it's July 31, 74 degrees at noon. I have us up to about 82 at 5 o'clock. And again, today winds for the most part will be light. We'll have your 7-day forecast and track some shower activity out across eastern Oregon coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rob, we also have a quick traffic alert here this morning. This is out in West Lynn area. This is a look at the map that shows I-205, the southbound lanes of I-205 near West Lynn really backed up. Let's take a look at the ODOT cam that gives another view of what we're talking about here. An earlier crash backed up traffic from West Lynn all the way to the Clackamas Town Center. That is a long stretch of I-205 south. This is a live look right now. Again, the traffic accident has been cleared, but the backup remains. We'll keep an eye on this as we move through the 8 o'clock hour. Let's get back to that breaking news story in downtown Vancouver. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says one of its deputies shot and killed an armed man who's accused of threatening to kill at least one of his parents.
It happened just before 11 o'clock last night. Let's get right over to Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, who is live in Vancouver. So, Thomas, what else do we know this morning?
Well, guys, the Washington State Office of Independent Investigations is just starting its investigation. They took over the scene here early this morning, and this is an agency that is not affiliated with any law enforcement. That's part of protocol here in Washington. Now, we heard earlier this morning from Clark County Sheriff's Office that this incident all started and really transpired in a matter of minutes. Around 10:40 last night, Clark County Sheriff's Office says they received a call from a home from somebody saying that their son, they believed, was trying to kill them and another person. That person on the phone also mentioned that their son had a gun. They say he also was on meth and had been drinking. Now, Clark County deputies and Vancouver police responded to that call near East 27th Street and 8th Street in Vancouver. During the response, the caller reported their son left the home on a bicycle. Minutes later, a Vancouver police officer saw the suspect on that bike. A deputy then reported over the radio that he still had a gun, and that's when things turned lethal. Just a few minutes after this originally started at 10:51, deputies located the suspect here near Main Street and East 19th in downtown Vancouver. Clark County Sheriff's Office says a deputy fired their gun, shooting and killing the suspect. Authorities say they then gave him first aid, but it didn't work. We spoke to Hector Castro, who's the Director of Communications with the Office of Independent Investigations up here in Washington. Here's what he had to say about their ongoing investigation.
Our role is to come in afterwards and investigate the use of deadly force. So for our purposes, it all starts at this point, and we begin that investigation going forward.
And there's still a lot we don't know about what happened up here. We don't know what led up to that shooting. We don't know who this man is or his age. That is all things that's under investigation as the Office of Independent Investigations here in Washington just begins to look into this case further. What we do know from the Clark County Sheriff's Office is that nobody else was hurt. No law enforcement officers nor any bystanders. The Clark County deputy who fired their weapon has been placed on critical incident leave. That is standard protocol in incidents like this. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. Meantime, for the second time this week, Portland police have arrested a man accused of setting multiple fires around the city. Aubrey Edwards is facing 15 charges tied to fires set over the course of 2 weekends. He's also believed to have set more fires yesterday, with just hours after he was released from jail. Investigators say that he set cars, garbage cans, and mattresses on fire, damaging several blocks between North Portland and downtown. So police are asking anyone with security or doorbell video of the fires to come forward.
I first thought it was a car accident, and then I seen an officer covering his face as he got stabbed in the eyeball.
Yeah, really wild story out of Springfield, Oregon. A man is dead. 2 officers are hurt after a police shooting there yesterday afternoon. They say it happened just before 3 o'clock, so right in the middle of the day. Police say the man threatened officers with knives, stabbing 2 of them before police shot and killed him. Both officers were taken to the hospital. We don't have an update this morning on their condition.
This morning, we're hearing from a Northeast Portland business owner who says someone drew a swastika on their door.
Yeah, the man was caught on security camera, and police are asking for help at this point to identify him. KGW's Catherine Cook has more after speaking to the owner.
I think it's incredibly sad that you live with that kind of hate.
Those are the words therapist Roseanne Marmore would share with this man if she could. Security cameras capture the guy drawing a swastika on the doorframe of Marmore's business, Pulse Wellness Cooperative, on Northeast 27th and Broadway. It happened June 14th, around 1:30 in the morning.
A swastika is cruel. So, and it embeds hate in our community rather than does the opposite, which is what I spend my life trying to do.
Police are investigating the case as a bias crime. They noted employees and clients here have diverse racial, cultural, and religious identities.
We have a gay flag on our sign, so they don't know we're Jewish necessarily, but they certainly know we're queer.
For many clients, the flag has made them feel welcome. That includes this woman who asked not to be identified. She's disappointed by the vandalism.
I think it's very disheartening just seeing that, especially because it's a really good business. It has helped a lot of people personally. It has helped me a lot.
You know, I don't like swastikas, so I'm not a big fan of that at all.
Adrian Thomas Eichmann works next door at Pets on Broadway. He's seen a lot of vandalism in the neighborhood, from pride and political signs ripped off lawns to smashed windows.
I mean, it's really unfortunate that something is happening so close to home. It's unfortunate that that happens everywhere.
In November, Marmore says someone stole a mezuzah, a Jewish prayer scroll, from the doorframe. She doesn't know if this person was involved.
The hardest and scariest part is he stares right into the camera and looks pretty angry.
She hopes someone will recognize him and do the right thing.
They'll let the police know, and the police will get him, and we'll press charges. It's not acceptable.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Meanwhile, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is using a training exercise as an opportunity to continue its search for Travis Decker, the man accused of murdering his 3 daughters nearly 2 months ago in central Washington. The Sheriff's Office is doing team training for water rescues in Icicle Creek. This is a spot they picked specifically for the training so they could also look for Decker. The Sheriff's Office says the intense search for Decker last month really took a toll on their budget.
We want to continue that effort, but make sure that we're allocating our funds appropriately so we can make it through the year and don't have to walk across the street and ask for additional funds from our Board of County Commissioners unless absolutely necessary.
The Sheriff's Office says it didn't find any new clues in the search for Decker during yesterday's training, but they're not giving up. They say they're in it for the long haul.
Your time now is 8:08. We are taking a live look out from our sky cam at the Chehalem Tasting Room. It is looking beautiful out there this morning, and I think Rod Hill has a nice day in store for us today, sir.
Oh, stop it.
Oh.
Beautiful. What else you want to call today, huh?
You 2 through.
Hey, this is a day that continues that thunderstorm activity in central and eastern areas. And so because of that, we still have the red flag warning up for high fire danger. So far, we have had some fire starts, but so far not a lot of new fire activity this week because the lightning has generally come with some pretty good rain. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we get lucky with that once again on this final day of July. Big radar picture across the country. We've got active showers in Ohio moving up into New York. here in the west, really the only rain is the rain that we have for the most part across portions of eastern Washington and central and eastern Oregon. Here's the closer look at that radar. Some showers around Bend. We've actually had some light rain move up around Mount Hood and also out into the Columbia River Gorge. This is at the camera. I think you guys just showed off Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. Partly cloudy skies, 65. We're starting to warm up in the 8 o'clock hour right now. We have clouds at the coast. We'll look for partial clearing later today, 59 in Astoria. Bend, 68. We've had showers this morning, not so much in Bend, but up around Madras earlier on today. And then this afternoon, again, what we've been seeing, thunderstorms will fire from the south and move up into central Oregon and eastern Oregon. And the latest modeling keeps the rain near to east of the Cascades. So I wouldn't say the rain chance in Portland is 0, meaning a shower could happen, but all the data we look at as forecasters shows that we stay dry. 82, partly sunny, 83 tomorrow, first day of August, first weekend of August, 84 Saturday, 78 Sunday. I mean, that's really comfortable stuff for this time of the year. Let me show off the 7-day numbers. There they are. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 8:10. Taking a look at your drive times right now. Main Street to I-405 going to take you 24 minutes. And then Patton Parkway to I-84 going to be 14 minutes.
Still ahead here on Sunrise, we're going to break down the timeline from the moment the massive earthquake struck this week off the coast of Russia until waves made it here to the U.S. And later, the latest on President Trump's trade deal deadline. It's coming up tomorrow. We're also talking about new tariffs that are set to take effect.
Tonight's NFL preseason kickoff is altering some of our news schedules later today. So NBC is carrying the Lions and Chargers, so that impacts newscasts on KGW TV. We will be on the air with local newscasts at 3 p.m. and again after the game at 8 p.m. And then NBC Nightly News, just so you know, it's going early at 3:30 p.m. But our 4, 5, and 6 p.m. newscasts will only be seen here on KGW Plus.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm Christine Pitawanich, and if you're already looking forward to the weekend, you are not alone. We are expecting nice weather this Saturday and Sunday, and we've got some fun events in the area to help you take advantage of it. We'll start in Clark County with the County Fair. The 10-day-long event kicks off this Friday and features games, rides, and educational opportunities. There's also a concert lineup this weekend, starting with the Brothers Osborne on Friday. Gates open at 10 a.m. and tickets cost anywhere from $10 to more than $80 depending on which package you get. And for something a bit more moderately paced, why not head to North Portland for the St. John's Art Walk? This Saturday from 11 to 4, everyone is invited to stop by local businesses and check out some local artwork on display. It takes place in the St. John's Business District along Northwest Lombard between New York and Richmond Avenues. More details at stjohnsartwalk.org. And finally, for our fashion forward folks, this Sunday marks the beginning of Sneaker Week. Orlando Sanchez might be there. He loves his sneakers. The week-long event begins with a screening at the OMSI Auditorium of Piece by Piece. That's Pharrell Williams' animated Lego biopic. It'll be followed by a Q&A with Adidas footwear designer Sarah Sabino. For more details on the full week's lineup, head to sneakerweekpdx.com. And for more weekend inspiration, you can always check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week at kgw.com.
We are following up on the 8.8 earthquake that hit off the coast of Russia Tuesday, leading to tsunami advisories along the Oregon and Washington coast. Liz Kreutz gives us a look at what happened, starting from the epicenter all the way across the Pacific.
Tsunami alerts issued as far away as South America. After that massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake, one of the largest ever recorded, struck off Russia's Pacific coast, sending people rushing out of crumbling buildings. Portions of this ceiling collapsing on travelers at an airport. Doctors here seen mid-surgery, desperately trying to stabilize a patient. Tremors shattering this Russian kindergarten building, the entire wall falling away. Thank God there were no children inside, he says. The quake happening along the Pacific's Ring of Fire. The first tsunami spotted in this small fishing village. You can see those buildings floating away. In Japan, millions evacuated, some flocking to rooftops. And in the U.S., tsunami warnings issued up and down the West Coast.
We decided to go to elevated ground.
Hawaii braced for the worst.
It can move cars, it will throw fences around. If it hits, it can dislodge trees.
Honolulu in gridlock as residents race to get away from the coast. Tourists at beachfront hotels forced to seek shelter above the 4th floor. Hundreds crowding in resort hallways for hours. Airlines canceling flights. The Coast Guard ordering all commercial vessels to evacuate harbors.
They left without us. Hold on, I'll show you. There they are. They're leaving us.
Mandy Berry said she had to stay the night in a Hilo shelter after her tour bus didn't make it back before her cruise ship left port.
My first thought was, why are they closing the gate? And then my second thought was, wow, this is really happening. They're really going to leave us.
Overnight, waves crested to over 5 feet in some areas, but no major injuries or damage reported.
Certainly a warranted advisory, right? Yesterday definitely needed to be in place, but it turned out that we didn't have any bad impacts, which is also great news.
I mean, again, it was 8.8, and you reported it was the 6th strongest or largest earthquake in recorded history. Yep. So, I mean, put yourself in the shoes of the watch warning people. And this is not an exact science. So what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to sound the alarm, right? 8.8, and you've got any reason at all to believe, any reason that this could lead to devastation, you've got to go with the warnings.
And they also, but you know, the advisory didn't tell people to evacuate the Oregon coast.
Here locally,
yeah,
right.
Just saying, hey, be aware, be mindful, and it never went past that.
Yeah, if you're just back into town, you missed it. The highest projection that the Weather Service advisories had was Seaside, that they said the water could come up, and their exact wording was less than 2 feet. But most of the coast, they said less than a foot. Turned out to be about 1 to 2 to 3 inches. And not all areas got that. But good for us. Mm-hmm. I think for the most part, people stayed off the beach. Thomas was there yesterday. We had some people on the beach, but not many. Mm-hmm. So good for us that it didn't turn out to be more than it was. All right, here's a look at the radar. We've got rain showers that have bounced into the Cascades. You can see them coming from the east back to the west. And there's actually some action. This is kind of rogue because it's got a developing heavy downpour. No lightning detected with this, but a heavier downpour. And this is now on the west slope of the Cascades, which is what I've been talking about. But there could be something bounce into the valley. Despite what you're looking at there, all of the weather modeling shows these rain showers weakening and not making it into the Willamette Valley. But if you're in the Cascade foothills, realize, hey, there's some raindrops approaching the crest of the mountain, so maybe something will spill over. We had pretty good lightning outbreaks early this morning, Baker City near LeGrand, Pendleton. Now you got lightning strikes that have kind of reinvigorated just north of Pendleton right now. You folks may still be hearing some thunder to your north. Futurecast does show a new surge of scattered showers and storms. This is this afternoon in the 3 o'clock hour in central and eastern areas. And then they move up to the north, and then that round kind of fizzles eventually. And then here comes another round of developing storms south to north again on Friday. So again, the rain chance up and down I-5, I mean, there's a rain chance. It's just, but all the weather model data now is showing that in our area, Albany, Salem, Portland, Vancouver, Kelso, Longview, that we stay dry. So we'll see, realize this is going on. It's just the reason these storms that we had the cloudiness at times yesterday. It's the reason we'll have some cloudiness in our skies again today. Right now, partly cloudy over the city from our Pioneer Park building, looking out over the square and the courthouse, and there's Pioneer Place. 63 degrees is the current temperature. The beach has clouds, expecting some partial clearing. Newport 55, Astoria 59. All dry, partly cloudy up to Seattle at this hour, 63 for them. And we've had that rain along 84, even some showers around the Dalles earlier this morning where it's 71. So our forecast numbers, it's the final day of July, and we're looking pretty good. Mid-80s considered spot on, exactly normal in the climate book for this time of the year. It shows Salem at 85, partly to mostly sunny. Again, not much of a breeze, just light winds. Valley forecast, if anything, there would be more cloudiness at times as you head north today. Longview 77, maybe staying shy of 80. Battleground 80, Vancouver 82. Portland 7-day, 82. Tomorrow 83, August 1. 84 Saturday, 78 Sunday. And at least into the mid part of next week, we're looking at comfortable temperatures. Now, there are models that the following Sunday, a week from this Sunday, gets us back into some hot weather. So just something that we're watching, but that's your update for now.
Thank you, Ron. The clock is ticking for foreign countries as President Trump's trade deal deadline arrives tomorrow. The latest on that story and other national headlines ahead on Sunrise.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
President Trump's trade deal deadline arrives tomorrow on August 1st. NBC's Alice Bauer has more on the U.S. and how tariffs imposed by the president are impacting the economy.
With just hours to go until President Trump's Friday deadline, when hefty tariffs kick in for global trading partners that haven't reached a deal, the president announcing an agreement with South Korea for billions of dollars in new U.S. investment and 15% tariffs on goods entering the U.S., lower than he'd threatened, but sharply higher than in recent years.
It's literally trillions of dollars ultimately being brought into our country. We're now negotiating with various other countries, and the rest we're just sending out the bill.
Among the countries getting a heftier tab, India, slapped with a 25% tariff plus an additional import tax penalty for buying Russian oil amid the war on Ukraine. And then there's Brazil, hit with a 50% tariff that has many American coffee shops reeling and weighing price increases.
It would only be by cents because we don't want it to be where it's too much for the client.
That risk for tariffs pushing prices up, making the Federal Reserve keep interest rates steady rather than the rate cut President Trump has been publicly pressuring for to boost the economy.
We have no inflation, and we're very strong, and we should be lowering the rates.
Inflation ticked up slightly in June, but has trended downward overall this year, alongside low unemployment, strong market growth, and now word that after shrinking at the start of the year, the U.S. gross domestic product grew, a better than expected 3% this spring, with outlook for the months ahead still uncertain. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your national headlines for your morning rush. Russia unleashed a drone attack in Kyiv overnight that lasted for hours, killing at least 6 people, including a 6-year-old boy. This is video of some of the aftermath. The attack took place as the U.S. continues to urge Russia to end the war. Police arrested a suspect in connection with a double homicide last weekend at a state park in Arkansas. 2 parents were killed there while hiking with their 2 young daughters. The children were not hurt. And the Federal Reserve voted not to cut interest rates despite pressure from President Trump. The committee voted 9-2 to keep the rates the same. And that's your morning rush.
So when I was getting ready for the protest, I felt sick. I didn't want to do it. It just felt like something that had to be done.
The petition to recall that city councilors campaign for mayor after their topless protest against the Trump administration's policy on transgender rights. Plus, continuing breaking news coverage after a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a suspect in Vancouver, coming up at 8:30.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We've been covering breaking news this morning in Vancouver. A Clark County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed a man accused of threatening to kill one of his parents. Deputies say the suspect was armed. The shooting happened just before 11 o'clock last night in downtown Vancouver. After he was shot, authorities say they gave first aid, but the man died. No one else involved here was hurt. We'll have more on this as we continue on this afternoon. with KGW News at noon. But Rod Hill is in right now for the look at your weather.
Yeah, it looks like we have a nice day coming up. We've had showers along the Cascades, even out in the gorge this morning. Storms currently generally weakening in central and eastern Oregon, but they will refire later today. And we get some cloudiness off those storms. That's why it's partly cloudy, not just clear. 65 degrees in Salem, our live Rose City camera looking across the Willamette, and we are at 63. Should be a day pretty similar to yesterday overall. 74 degrees at noon. Temperatures up to about 82 this afternoon. And our 7-day is really pretty comfortable as August begins tomorrow, only 83. I say only, and by Sunday, a high temperature of around 78 degrees.
Good morning. All right, boys, how much would you pay to try some Dubai chocolate pancakes? Anyone?
Whatever the price of a Hershey bar is, that's what I'm paying.
I would hope for a free sample.
Okay. So IHOP is capitalizing on the viral chocolate bars with its new Luxe Dubai chocolate pancakes. They're buttermilk pancakes infused with Dubai chocolate flavors like pistachio and hazelnut. They're then topped with Madagascar vanilla, whipped cream, a whole Dubai chocolate bar, and edible 24-karat gold flakes. So how much do you guys think this costs?
This is at IHOP?
Yeah, it's luxurious. What are we thinking?
It can't be more than $24, I'm going to say at IHOP.
A play on the 24-karat gold? I see what you did there.
I read the article. I know, Rod, you're quite off.
Am I really? Is it really expensive?
Go ahead, China.
At IHOP?
Like $130.
But nobody that goes to IHOP, I mean, no offense intended, I go to IHOP. You don't, $130 at IHOP is too much.
$130. And this Dubai chocolate has gone viral. And it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, I want to try it. And every place I go, it's $20 for a chocolate bar. Are you out of your mind?
So you won't get it at the IHOPs around here, Rod. They're going to have them in New York, LA, and Austin. I say
makes more sense.
Let the people there lose all their money on these pancakes, right?
Real quick, because I'm into this topic. So when you guys order pancakes, do you want the whipped cream and the fruit and all that stuff all over it, or you just want them to bring butter and you'll put syrup on your pancake? The butter and syrup.
Butter and syrup.
I don't even do the butter anymore.
What do you put on it?
Just syrup.
Just syrup?
Just syrup.
You don't want all the...
No.
Yeah, it's become nuts, in my opinion, what they put on.
Too much. It becomes like a dessert instead of
too
breakfast.
much.
Yes.
I'm only one man. Can only eat so much. But I have my days I can eat a lot, by the way. I'm quite proud of those days. Here's our Schnuckwitz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. A little brightness, but a lot of cloud cover. We're looking for partial clearing at the beach this afternoon. You know, this has been a calm week wind-wise. Another day of not much wind expected, 58 degrees in Lincoln City. Currently, it's quite bright over downtown Portland. It's partly cloudy overall throughout the valley. We're at 63, and again, not much wind, north-northwest at 5. Here are the day temperatures, 74 at noon. I have us getting up to 82. We have had a chance of rain in today's forecast here in the valley. And while that's not impossible that we would see a shower, all of the model data suggests that we stay dry. We'll see how that goes. That's your update.
We're going to take a quick look again, Rod, at that traffic situation over by West Lynn. This is I-205. These are the southbound lanes that are moving slow right there on the left side of your screen. There was a crash earlier on I-205 near West Lynn. Now, the crash has been clear, but that backup has continued on. At one point, the traffic backed up from West Lynn all the way to the Clackamas Town Center. And if you're familiar with I-205, you know that is a long stretch of the freeway. So still slow going as we enter the 8:30 half hour. We're going to start our news block this half hour with breaking news. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says one of its deputies shot and killed an armed man who's accused of threatening to kill at least one of his parents.
This happened just before 11 o'clock last night in downtown Vancouver. So let's get right up to Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, who is live in Vancouver. So Thomas, what else do we know about this shooting?
Well, guys, all throughout the night after this shooting transpired just before 11 o'clock last night, this road behind us has been closed as they continue to investigate this shooting. I want to step off and show you what we're seeing right now. A lot of those police vehicles have cleared out. Clark County Sheriff's Office says this all transpired in the matter of minutes. They say they first responded to a call just after 10:40 when someone reported their son had a gun, was high on meth, and had been drinking. Authorities say the caller was worried their son would kill them and another person. I want to show you a map here. Clark County deputies and Vancouver police officers responded to the call near East 27th Street and H Street, just about less than a mile from where we are in downtown Vancouver. During that response, the caller reported their son had then left the home on a bicycle. Minutes later, a Vancouver police officer saw the suspect on the bike. A deputy reported over the radio the man still had a gun. That's when things turned lethal. Around 10:51 last night, deputies located the suspect near Main Street and East 19th Street down here in downtown Vancouver. They say a deputy fired their gun, shooting and killing the suspect. Authorities say they gave him first aid, but it didn't work. Now, this whole investigation is being investigated by a state office. We spoke with one of their investigators about what happens next.
I think it's important that instead of jumping to conclusions like many of us might do right away, whether it be that obviously the police shouldn't be killing people or maybe that guy was at fault, that we take this opportunity to offer empathy and love to the people who are involved. Hopefully we will get the body cam footage released, which is our public right to be able to do so, and you can request to do so. But hopefully we can all take a moment to send love and prayers to that family who obviously was going through it with their mentally ill son, but then also had to hear him get shot in their neighborhood.
And that there is a neighbor who we spoke to about an hour ago who heard all of this transpire last night. Again, a resident here in downtown Vancouver who heard this as he was going to bed. He says he heard around 4 gunshots. Of course, understandably, very concerned about what was going on in his neighborhood last night, offering an opinion that a lot of people around here we spoke to agree with. There's a lot that we don't know right now as this investigation is just getting underway. We don't know who this man who was shot, his age, his name, what led up really to this shooting once deputies then saw him again down here in Vancouver after missing him in that initial response near the home less than a mile away. The Clark County Sheriff's Office also tells us that no deputies or bystanders were hurt in this incident as well. The Clark County deputy who did fire their weapon has been placed on critical incident leave. That's standard protocol in incidents like this. Also, when you do have an officer-involved shooting here in Washington, that is then turned over to a state agency. That state agency is called the Office of Independent Investigations. They are the ones who will look into this even further. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz covering this breaking news for us for the past 4 hours here on Sunrise. Great job, Thomas. Meanwhile, tsunami advisories we know have been canceled for the Oregon and Washington coast. They were canceled late yesterday morning following Tuesday's 8.8 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Russia.
And now some Democratic lawmakers in Oregon say that the tsunami scare is highlighting the gaps in our current response system.
And we can either just continue to try to whistle past the graveyard and hope that nothing bad happens, or we can act like responsible leaders and say, you know what, this is going to be a little painful. We're going to have to figure out a long-term strategy for funding.
So lawmakers are looking for funding so the Oregon Department of Emergency Management can have a 24-hour operations center. They're also hoping to upgrade alert systems so both locals and visitors on the coast can get notifications. That plus more training and better facilities for first responders.
The flood recedes when the fire is out, when the windstorm is over. How do you put Humpty Dumpty back together again in a format that actually plays to our strengths and doesn't depend upon FEMA, which is losing its capacity?
Now, lawmakers say that they want to reintroduce the plan to make this happen during the next legislative session in February.
In Southwest Washington, the way that a city councilor chose to protest the Trump administration's policies on transgender rights has put them at the center of controversy after a topless protest. Now, we do want to warn you, there are some blurred images of nudity coming up in this story. Back in July, Stevenson City Councilor Lucy Losser, who's transgender, stood on the Skamania County Courthouse lawn without a shirt and was arrested for indecent exposure. Losser is also running for mayor of Stevenson, and the primary is less than a week away.
And protesting topless was like the best way that you felt?
I couldn't think of a better method of protesting the president calling me a man than taking off my shirt and getting arrested for it.
This is not about a transgender. This is about a city council official, an elected official, a city council member that is going topless and committing a crime.
The second person we heard from there is a local business owner who started a petition to recall Losser's campaign for mayor. If the petition moves forward, it would need 178 signatures within 180 days to trigger the recall. You can watch the full 6-minute-long version of this story on our TV streaming app. Of course, that's right here, KGW+.
Former congressional candidate Joe Kent has been picked to serve as the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. Kent plans to focus on the agency's resources on Latin American gangs and criminal groups tied to migration. The former Green Beret and CIA operative ran for Congress in Southwest Washington in the last 2 elections.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris says she will not enter the race for California governor. In a statement, the former VP said she'll continue to serve the country, just not in elected office. But according to NBC News, 2 people close to Harris said she still has her sights set on another run for the White House in 2028.
Next week, leaders in Yamhill County are planning to address fears around ICE arrests. This comes after a video surfaced that shows ICE agents making an arrest outside the Yamhill County Jail. ICE raids will be one of the main topics during a summit next week where leaders will discuss immigration issues. Community leaders say that they want to help people feel safe leaving their homes.
They're starting to hunker down, so we're not seeing as many folks going out for shopping. We're hearing from our health network that some folks are just not going to appointments. If it gets bad enough, what we'll see is that people just won't show up to work.
I'd like to see clarity of what is allowed and where and when, and enforcing our state laws in those vulnerable areas.
Local leaders say that they want to hear from state leadership on what's being done to protect people's rights. The conference will take place on Monday at the Salem Convention Center.
All right, we're tracking the impacts of another crash near Westland. So this is on the shoulder of I-205 at 10th Street, the 10th Street exit. You can see the crash there, the vehicle overturned on its side. Looks like a vehicle or a trailer, we're not sure which, but this is causing yet another slowdown on I-205 in the Westland area. An earlier crash had traffic backed up from Westland to the Clackamas Town Center in the southbound lane. So a couple of messes to keep track of this morning there in the Westland area.
I can't fathom the idea of standing over my father's grave, and I mean that really sincerely, to say, hey, they left.
Keep the Blazers in Portland. That's the plea from local business leaders and former players who are banding together to make sure there's no possibility of the team moving elsewhere. Why they say it all comes down to the Moda Center after the break. And the KGW School Supply Drive is coming soon to a school district near you, and you can join us. Just go to kgw.com/school to sign up your business or organization to be an official school supply drive collection site. Help us collect school supplies and send thousands of kids and teachers in the area back to school with the tools they need. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, the college football season is almost here. We're talking about football right here at the University of Oregon. Ducks head coach Dan Lanning says yesterday's practice was really about knocking off the rust. The Ducks have a season opener on August 30th against Montana State. And we're also talking about the Beavers here. This is their second season under head coach Trent Bray. Bray says they're really in a better position right now than they were this time a year ago.
We're, from a knowledge standpoint, way ahead, I think, than where we were, especially last time this year. And then I think we're building off where we left off in the spring, not starting over, so I'm pleased with that.
Coach Bray is also taking over defensive coordinator duties, so he's going to have a busy year for sure. The Beaver season opener is also on August 30th. They're going to be home against Cal.
Meantime, local business leaders and some former Trailblazers are working to make sure the Moda Center will continue to house the Blazers.
So to put this simply, the group is worried about the possibility of a new owner moving in and moving the team out of Portland if major renovations aren't made to the Moda Center or if a new arena isn't built. KGW's John Adams has the story.
We should all have learned from Seattle, who became the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Few people have a bigger connection to the Portland Trailblazers than Marshall Glickman. His father founded the team in 1970, and he was instrumental in the building of the Moda Center and the development of the Rose Quarter in the mid-90s. With the team now up for sale, Glickman says the city needs to take a serious look at changes to its home of 3 decades.
The state of Moda Center is generations behind the state of new modern arenas today.
Glickman, along with other area business leaders and former players, are banding together to form Rip City Forever, a group aimed at keeping the franchise in Portland.
This is Oregon's team, Portland's team. The team stays here and is in a situation where it can compete at the highest level and bring back a championship to Portland.
At a press conference earlier this month, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver weighed in on the sale of the franchise, saying the league prefers the team to stay in Portland if certain steps are made.
The city of Portland likely needs a new arena.
On Tuesday, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek and Portland Mayor Keith Wilson sent a letter to Silver affirming a commitment to renovating Moda, saying they are prepared to explore a public-private partnership to make it happen. However, Glickman thinks there needs to be a really serious look at whether or not it makes financial sense to renovate Moda or build a brand new arena.
If we want to be a world-class city, we should have a world-class venue.
Glickman believes a new arena with an entertainment district built around it could be a huge economic driver for the area, but says part of this push is also personal.
I can't fathom the idea of standing over my father's grave, and I mean that really sincerely, to say, hey, they left.
John Adams, KGW News.
Blazers talk. It is a pretty impressive list of people who are a part of this group. Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Buck Williams, a lot of the former Blazers, a lot of people in town, business owners that are all trying to, I know, keep our no knock on the Timbers. But let's face it, basketball, football, baseball are the 3 majors in this country. And we only have one of those in this city right now.
And if you rebuild, would that be on the same spot? Would it be a new spot? If it's on the same spot, can you do that? Do we get in the conversation which you've had over the years of saying goodbye to Memorial Coliseum?
Yeah, there's a lot of things could change, especially with a new ownership group, whoever that may be.
Yeah. All right. Weather-wise, here on the west side, I think we stay pretty quiet today. We're still tracking scattered showers and storms in central and eastern Oregon. So what you're looking at on radar right now, lightning active up north of Pendleton. Most of this is from thunderstorms earlier this morning, that's fizzled into just some rain. But with that said, we're getting some daytime heating now, and you're starting to see, look at the yellow pop up right there. We're starting to see some of these showers intensify. So we'll keep an eye on this. Some of the rain has actually moved, if you go down to central Oregon, over to the west slope of the Cascades. Weather modeling had been showing that some of this rain moves into Portland around 11 o'clock. And if you look at this, you're like, well, that's still possible. The modeling no longer says that happens. Clearly, it's something I'm watching. So there is a rain chance in Portland, but the odds are favoring us staying dry. So we'll see how today plays out. Here's the wider look. And this is another day where we will see the scattered showers and thunderstorms reinvigorate or redevelop this afternoon. Here we are at 3 o'clock. Again, everything coming up from the south and moving to the north. Now, the bright colors are good news in that that's the modeling saying, well, there's some lightning, but there's also big-time downpours with the lightning, which would dampen the chance of new fire starts. And despite all this lightning activity going all the way back to Monday, we really haven't had that much in the way of new fire activity. You know, knock on wood, we get through today with the same story. Here we are with weakening showers later this evening, and then redeveloping again coming up from the south tomorrow at 4:05. So we'll keep an eye on all that. We do have rain showers over the Cascades. This is one of our Timberline cameras looking south. There's Jefferson. It looks like some rain showers if you look over on that side of your TV set there. 62 is the number. Here's the Chehalem tasting room camera, and this looks, we're looking off to the east, and that looks kind of ominous, but again, radar is showing the rain right now mainly, except for that area I showed you well to our south, staying near the crest and then over on the east side of the Cascades. But just something we're keeping an eye on, and realize if your travel plans take you into the mountains or through the gorge, or certainly over into Central Oregon today, you are in a zone where you could be getting some storm passage at times. Up and down I-5 right now, though it's all dry. Kelso 63, Portland is 63. We have cloudiness at the coast. Valley temperatures today, 85 in Salem, partly to mostly sunny overall. A little bit more in the way of some cloudiness in southwest Washington and perhaps a little bit cooler. This shows battleground at 80 degrees. And our 7-day forecast, pretty comfortable. I mean, today's July 31 and tomorrow's August 1. We go 82, 83, 84 on Saturday, maybe only in the 70s with increasing cloudiness on Sunday into Monday. At this point, comfortable weather all the way into Wednesday. Okay, it is time for our birthday party, but guess what? We don't have a party. I don't know if the caterer got held up. I don't know what's going on. Nobody sent us birthdays today, but we love to celebrate with you. Send us your photos to birthdays@kgw.com, and we will do just that. We'll be back in a moment.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
And a wrap of our top stories this morning. A Clark County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed a man accused of threatening to kill one of his parents. Deputies say the suspect was armed. The shooting happened just before 11 o'clock last night in downtown Vancouver. As police responded, they found the suspect on a bike near Main Street and East 19th, and they say he still had a gun. That's when the deputy fired. Authorities say that they gave first aid, but the suspect died. No law enforcement officers or anyone else was hurt. For the second time this week, Portland police have arrested a man accused of setting multiple fires around the city. Aubrey Edwards is facing 15 charges tied to fires set over the course of 2 weekends. He's accused of setting more fires yesterday, just hours after he was released from jail. And tsunami advisories have been canceled following Tuesday's 8.8 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Russia. So now some Democratic lawmakers in Oregon say that the tsunami scare is highlighting the gaps in our current response system. They're looking for funding so the Oregon Department of Emergency Management can have a 24-hour operations center and to upgrade emergency alert systems along the coast.
Before we get back to Rod's final look at the forecast here this morning, we are tracking the impacts of another crash near West Lynn. This is the second crash we reported on in the past hour. This is off the shoulder of I-205 at 10th Street. Again, this is the West Lynn area. You can see that vehicle or trailer over on its side there. Traffic was already slow in this area because of a crash earlier this morning where traffic ended up being backed up in the southbound lanes from West Lynn all the way to the Clackamas Town Center.
Well, that's not good news. All right, here's our 7-day forecast. Pretty good day coming up. It is raining in the Cascades right now. At least a chance some of that rain moves in the valley, but all of our model data says that we stay dry in Portland, so we'll see. Partly sunny, 82, and the 7 days pretty comfortable all the way through this upcoming first weekend of August.
All right, take a look at this, gang. We featured this pair earlier this year during a Drew at the Zoo segment.
Whoa!
That is Link and Nova.
They know the cameras right there? They're posing, kind of.
Well, they set up the camera so you could see the extent of their vertical leap. They hung some treats up there, and yeah, Link and I think technically they're still considered cougar cubs. Link and Nova, they're showing off that serious vertical leaping ability.
Yes.
There it is again.
Yeah.
Go get it.
This is fun.
Link and Nova hanging out at the Oregon Zoo.
Hey, if you watch us, we do have some things to tell you about because tonight's NFL preseason kickoff is changing some things of our schedule later today. So NBC is carrying the Lions and Chargers, so that impacts our newscasts on KGW TV. We will be on the air with a local newscast at 3 p.m. and again after the game at 8. And then NBC Nightly News airs early at 3:30 p.m. But our 4, 5, and 6 p.m. newscasts will only be seen right here on KGW+.
Oh, give that to me one more time.
No. Just watch here.